So, welcome to next section in discrete time Fourier transforms. We had elaborated in detail on various aspects of discrete time Fourier transform. Today, we shall try to spend some time on what is exactly implication of discrete time Fourier transform when we consider systems. Right now, we had not considered system as such. In the entire discussion we were thinking of converting a discrete sequence into a continuous function. The continuous function is periodic. Now, we shall try to interlink the issues which we discussed earlier in the before mid semester about a discrete time system, how it works and how exactly this discrete time Fourier transform is useful in that analysis. So, we revisit the things in the prior to mid semester examination. We had discussed that what is a discrete time system. A discrete time system, we had said that it is a box to which x n is an input sequence and an output sequence is y n, and this box is considered as a, we will not say time domain, but it is better to say sample domain transfer function, sample domain transfer function of the system. So, what is the output sequence y n? We had repeated many times that output sequence y n, any discrete time system which is having properties of LTI, that is linear and time invariant discrete time system, in that the output is always weighted sum of current and past inputs, nothing more than that, weighted sum of current and past inputs. Only question is whether past few or past all. If it is past few, it is said to be FIR, if it is past all, it is said to be IIR. So, it is weighted sum of current and past inputs, means what? Yn is equal to something into xn plus something into xn minus 1 plus something into xn minus 2 plus something into xn minus 3 and so and so forth. So, these are the weights, these are the weights. So, what is output? Nth output, nth sample of the output is sum of input, but not simple sum, weighted sum. We have to add weights here. What are the weights? Which were discussed earlier many times. The weight which multiplies the current sample H0, that is weight which multiplies, H corresponds to weight, the index corresponds to the number of samples back. So, H0 is the weight of the input which received 0 samples back, means current sample. I am computing Yn. While computing Yn, H0 is the weight of the current sample. Then H1 means it is the weight of the sample received one sample ago, weight of the input received one sample ago, previous sample. Then H2 previous second sample, then H3 previous third sample, and so on. So, this can now go till infinity or it can be finite. It can go till infinity or it can be finite. So, what I can say, this I can write in the convolution form. This is convolution. Yn is equal to summation k is an why k I use, because n is used in one form. So, we can use same. So, k is equal to 0 hk x of n minus k 0 to m, and if this m is finite, it is having m plus 1 weights. If m is in and it is a finite sum, if m is infinite, it is IIR. In that case, you cannot compute it because it will be infinite sum, but if hk is having some formula, in that case you can compute that sum by iterations. So, in that case some previous output goes on the other side, but in general this is a formula for convolution sum of x with weights h to get y. So, it is that the current output is weighted sum of current and previous inputs, and then because of that the input output shapes are not same. Output and input shape, if you look at the, if you plot the samples versus sample number for input and output, you will see substantial variation there. And one more thing again, that sample can be either one dimensional or two dimensional, that is also important. The input and output, everything including weights also, it can be a two dimensional number. In discrete time signal processing, in signals and systems, you always keep it a one notion in your mind, that a number means a position in 2D plane, it is not a single value, number is a position in 2D plane. So, now how discrete time Fourier transform finds applications over here is quite interesting to note down, and which we note down very appropriately. Prior to mid semester, we had also discussed that the input of the form e raised to minus j omega n, input of the form e raised to minus j omega n, or you can have e raised to j omega n, either way. Input of the form e raised to minus j omega n or e raised to j omega n. If it is minus, it is clockwise, if it is plus, it is anti-clockwise. Let us say that if I apply, I have a system, any system it may be, it may be any system H n y n. If my x n what I apply is a rotating point on the circle, if x n what I apply is a rotating point on the circle, in that case what is going to happen? If x n I take as e raised to j omega n, if x n I take as e raised to j omega n, then what would be x n minus 1? If x n is e raised to j, this is input is a rotating point, it is neither not any parameter, not voltage, not height, and nothing, but it is a hypothetical input. X n is equal to e raised to j omega n, a rotating point as input. Then what is x, what will be x of n minus 1? It would be simply e raised to j omega n minus 1, that would be e raised to j omega n into e raised to minus j omega. So, e raised to minus j omega into e raised to j omega. What would be x n minus 2? It is e raised to j omega n minus 2, it would be e raised to minus j omega into 2 into e raised to j omega n. What is this e raised to j omega n? It is x n itself. So, in general, I think I had told it many times prior to mid-sem, I repeat once again. If input is e raised to j omega n, then shifted input is scaled input. When input is of the form e raised to j omega n, then shifted input by k is input multiplied by e raised to minus j omega k. So, what I can say is, if x n is of the form e raised to j omega n, then x of n minus k is equal to e raised to minus j, I write it once again, e raised to j omega into bracket n minus k, that is equal to e raised to j omega n into e raised to minus j omega k, that is equal to e raised to minus j omega k into x n. So, every previous input is scaled form of current input, therefore, you can establish a simpler relationship. So, in that case, what is output? So, output y n So, output yn is, as we had discussed already, summation k equal to 0 to m, anything is immaterial, hk, it can be finite or infinite, hk x of n minus k. So, what is x of n minus k? X of n minus k here, x of n minus k here is equal to, I write again, k equal to 0 to infinity h of k, x of n minus k is e raised to minus j omega k x of n, as we have discussed. This we can take as infinity. If we take infinity and then if hk is 0 after something, we can say it is all right. Similarly, this is limit from 0. Why limit from 0? Because we cannot have hk to be non-zero for k less than 0, because it would be response of the system to a future input which cannot be there, because it would be futuristic system or non-causal system. So, what is hk? hk is there starting from 0 onwards. So, this is what yn is equal to summation k equal to 0 to infinity hk e raised to minus j omega k xn. This I can write as minus infinity also. Why? Because I am sure that hk is equal to 0 from minus infinity to minus 1. So, I can write it no problem, because that would be 0 only. So, what is the term in the bracket now? This is dTft of, this is dTft of Hn. So, if xn is equal to e raised to j omega n, this is applicable only if xn is e raised to j omega n, not otherwise. Then yn is equal to, this is dTft, that is h of omega into e raised to j omega n, h of omega into e raised to j omega n. Means what it tells? It tells that the output will also be a rotating point which is scaled by a function which is h omega. So, we discussed it earlier also. Only thing is that we are able to give form now. This summation is given a form of h omega. So, dTft of the transfer function of a discrete time system is nothing but frequency response. Why frequency response? We will elaborate once again. Why the frequency response? Because as omega varies, this will vary. I will show it by 2 examples. We had discussed those 2 examples in previous 2 midsem in different contexts. Today we shall once again throw some light on that. So, if I have a simple system as a most simple discrete time system, yn is equal to half xn plus half xn minus 1. What does it mean? Half xn plus half xn minus 1. It is the average of current and previous sample. It is average of current and previous sample. Now, if I apply some, this is a system. So, what is hk? What is hn of this system? xn yn. xn gets multiplied by half. So, h0 is half and h1 is half. h0 half, h1 half and 0 elsewhere, because there are only 2 terms. So, h sequence hn is equal to, I can write like this, half half, and this is arrow indicates 0. So, H0 is equal to half, H1 is equal to half. So, in that case then, in that case, what is H omega? H omega is half, it's simply summation, what is H omega? That is transform n equal to minus infinity to infinity h n e raised to minus j omega n. No need to write the summation because it is very simple. So, that is equal to sum of two numbers, that is h0 e raised to j minus j omega 0 plus h1 e raised to minus j omega 1. So, that is equal to half into bracket, this is 1 plus e raised to minus j omega, half h omega is half h omega is half e raised to minus j omega. So, from this what do we understand? From this what do we understand? I think that now a time has arisen that we should be able to think in two dimensions, no need of cos and sine. Instead of cos and sine, rotating point is a better terminology which gives you a full understanding. Sometime later how to utilize it for cos and sine, because every time if we see, we should refrain ourselves from talking of cos and sine each time, because simply we know that a rotating point rotating in one direction and its exactly conjugate rotating point, they give me cosine waveform. A rotating point on unit circle or any circle and its conjugate rotating point, when I add these two together, I get a cosine waveform. So, I think that cosine I should be getting easily, but each time there is no need for me to think in single dimension. We should be able to think in multiple dimensions, and what is considered filter also, that we should think in multiple dimensions, 2 dimensions. So, h omega is half into bracket 1 plus e raised to minus j omega. So, how does it work? How does it a frequency response, what happens? So, the discrete time Fourier transform of the system function, this is h n, its discrete time Fourier transform is h omega. So, from that h omega discrete time Fourier transform tells us the frequency domain characteristics of the system. Frequency domain characteristics of the system means what? If input is e raised to j omega n, in that case output is h omega into e raised to j omega n. So, output is that function into input, and in that case what I find that for given omega 1 plus e raised to minus j omega becomes a constant. Remember, for given omega 1 plus e raised to minus j omega becomes a constant. What kind of constant it is? It is a point in 2D plane. It is a point in 2D plane. I will draw 2D plane. I will try my level best to enhance your compass of thinking. You should be able to think in 2D. It means just like I would give a very interesting example. Because of fashion, it happens so that the kids are put into a convent school. But even though kids are put into a convent school, since atmosphere everywhere is conventional, they do not learn English as their own language. Even though they are there listening something in that way, they try to correlate it into their mother tongue. So, what do? They think in their mother tongue, they listen in English, try to assimilate it with their mother tongue, think in mother tongue, decide in mother tongue, and then translate and talk in English. That should not happen. There should be thorough English if ever one wants to. Like that, we should always now be thorough two-dimensional. We need not take help of cos and sine. We should always talk in terms of a rotating point. A rotating point includes everything in the signal. So, for Hn having half and half, that is sum of current and previous sample, H of omega is 1 plus e raised to minus j omega. 1 plus e raised to minus j omega. Again, I repeat, omega of dTft can take a value from minus pi to pi. It can take a value from minus pi to pi. A value beyond it, it repeats. So, now how things will work here? So, small omega means something near 0 and large omega means something near pi. There is no infinite frequency because of sampling theorem. The samples are simply indicating us what is the maximum analog frequency we have considered. So, a frequency of pi corresponds to that analog frequency. It is not the frequency in our continuous domain. So, low frequency near 0, high frequency near pi, and when you go on minus side, it is rotating in reverse direction. So, if I apply, so h of omega is this. So, what is yn? Yn, if remember, if xn is e raised to j omega, then yn is h omega times xn. It is not generally true, provided that is xn is e raised to j omega n. If this xn is a rotating point on unit circle, then yn is some constant for given omega or some function of omega into rotating point. So, this being some constant, this is rotating point on unit circle in anti-clockwise direction starting from 1 0 at n equal to 0 and rotating with frequency of omega. This is a constant. So, it is a two-dimensional constant. As this two-dimensional constant, we can have its where we on in a 2D plane, where we plot it. I would like to clarify everything to my level best. So, 1 plus 1 is here and e raised to minus j omega. Suppose if, let us say, time being, let us take omega equal to pi by 6 or 30 degrees. If omega is equal to 30 degrees, what is e raised to minus j omega? E raised to minus j omega would be cos pi by 6 minus j sin pi by 6. That is cos 30 horizontal axis, that is root 3 by 2, 0.866 minus j 0.5. So, the point would be, if this is unit, so if we have a unit circle. So, let us have unit circle somewhere here. This is 0.10. Then this point is plus 0.866 on this side, minus 0.5. So, this point would be somewhere here, e raised to minus j omega, but it is this plus 1. So, it gets shifted here. So, this would be this point. So, this is the point of h omega. Listen very carefully. H omega is a point. H omega is a point. I made a small mistake. What is that small mistake? It is half. So, it goes when it is half, then everything is half. So, it comes somewhere here. So it is half, that is 0.433 minus z 0.25 and this is plus 0.5. So it is 0.933 minus z 0.25. 0.933 minus z 0.25, this is h omega. So what does it mean that h omega? Its amplitude now is less than 1. Amplitude of h omega is less than 1. Further, there is a shift. It is not, this h omega is not on a horizontal line. So this is an angle. So this h omega I can say as mod h omega angle phi omega. So what is mod h omega? Mod h omega is, this is, its half is there, it's 1, it's 1. So it is root of this, root of square of this plus square of this, that is root 2. This is root 2, root 2 upon 2. So it is 1 upon root 2. 1 upon root 2. Is it right? What is the angle? Angle is not like this. H omega is this. So it is actually, to be precise, it is half into bracket 1 plus cos omega minus j sin omega. So it is half will come out, remain outside. Square root of this, that is square root of 1 plus cos omega square plus sin omega square, that is equal to 1 plus 2 cos omega plus cos square omega plus sin square omega, that is equal to 1 cos square sin 1, that is 2 into bracket 1 plus cos omega and half. So it is root 2 by 2 under root 1 plus cos omega. It is amplitude. And what is the angle? Angle is this upon angle is sin omega upon 1 plus cos omega minus tan inverse of this. So this is one point. So what, see, remember, we need to spend time, you need to listen, you need to understand on your own, something on your own. So what I mean to say is h omega, that is the discrete time Fourier transform, is a point in 2D plane for given omega. I am trying to bombard it. I am fully aware that merely by increasing my speed and tone, the penetration of thought cannot take place, but one can't help also, because some you might have seen that if the students are very much in a violent mood, they are making their what we can say nuisance to a large extent, then teacher also tries to control them by increasing his tone. But does it happen that they stop? No, but anyway he has to do something like that. I am trying my level best to make you understand, but whether you understand or not, it depends upon how you take at it. So h omega is nothing but, for given omega, it is a point in 2D plane. The point here, half is here. So as half is here, you will find that it's always be inside the unit circle, somewhere, anywhere it would be. So what does that indicate? It indicates that it is the h omega will have magnitude and direction, amplitude and direction. That amplitude would be the radius of the circle on which output rotating point will rotate. One thing is very clear, that when input is a rotating point at an angular frequency omega, output is also a rotating point at the same angular frequency in the same direction. So once the input is a rotating point on unit circle here with an angular frequency omega in anticlockwise direction, the output will also be a rotating point with angular frequency omega in anticlockwise direction. The only difference is that input was rotating on unit circle starting at 1 0, starting means at 0 it was at 1 0. Output yn will be a rotating point on some other circle and will start from somewhere else. So, h omega, when I compute mod and angle, this tells me the radius and this tells me the position of the point at n equal to 0, and this position is this. So, what I get here, I get a very meaningful information for omega equal to so what is my mod h omega? We have found out that it is root 2 upon 2 or 1 upon root 2 under root 1 plus cos omega, and angle is tan inverse of minus tan inverse of sin omega upon 1 plus cos omega. To be very precise, what is 1 plus cos omega? Can you compute using sin and cos of omega by 2? If you compute using sin and cos of omega by 2, then you will find that this would be 1 plus cos omega. You can get some value. You can get some value for this sin omega and cos omega, 1 plus cos omega also. So, what you get there, you will be getting a very interesting thing, that the magnitude would be, this would be, you will find that this would be 2 cos square omega by 2 upon root 2, 2 cos square omega by 2 upon root 2, and so what you will be getting here, you will be getting here as, and here what you will be getting, it is minus tan inverse of, it is 2 sin omega by 2 cos omega by 2 upon 2 cos square omega by 2, 2 will be getting cancelled, 1 cos will be getting cancelled, this tan inverse of tan, that should is omega by 2. So, what you will be getting, you will get here as cos omega by 2 is the amplitude and minus, it is minus omega by 2 is the angle, minus omega by 2 is the angle. So, what does it mean? Remember, listen very carefully, mod h omega. So, for this, so h omega is cos omega by 2 angle minus omega by 2, cos omega by 2 angle minus omega by 2. So, what does it mean now? Now, it is completely summing up the things. If input is a rotating point on unit circle with frequency omega, then if my system transfer function is some average of current and previous sample, then output will be a rotating point on a circle of radius cos omega by 2, of radius cos omega by 2, and it will start at n equal to 0, it will be at an angle minus omega by 2. And what is range of omega? Omega range is minus 0 to pi and 0 to minus pi or minus pi to pi. So, what we get out of it? If omega is 0, that is not a rotating point. If omega is 0, that is the sequence doesn't rotate. If omega is 0, what will be sequence? It will be always 1. Throughout sequence is 1. In that case, what will be output? And I think I had made a small mistake there. What is that mistake? No, it's not mistake. So, it is average. So, if omega is 0, then H omega would be 1 angle 0. So, output is input. It is average of current and previous. Current and previous do not change. If all inputs are 1s. If omega is 0, e raised to j omega n will be all 1 sequence. If all 1 sequence is input to my system which averages out current and previous sample, then outputs will always be all 1s. So, in that case, input is all 1s, not rotating or rotating at 0 speed, output is also all 1s, rotating at 0 speed. But if now omega starts increasing from 0 slowly. So, for less, we can say for less omega, cos is more. So, cosine is 1 at cos theta is 1, that is maximum at angle 0, theta is equal to 0, and as theta increases, cos theta starts reducing, and at theta equal to 90, cos theta becomes 0. So, here you will find that as omega starts increasing, cos omega by 2 will start reducing. So, what does it mean? If the input is rotating point on unit circle, if rotating point rotates at large frequency, at large speed, if it rotates fast, then output will be a rotating point at same frequency, at same angular speed, but the radius on which it will rotate will shrink. Listen, this is concept of low pass filter. You need not be always in terms of, I want you to learn to think in 2D. So, input is rotating on a unit circle at some frequency. If input rotates slowly, then output will rotate near unit circle. If input rotates slowly, then output will rotate on this unit circle. But if input rotates fast, if omega we make as pi by 2, if we make omega as pi by 2, what will happen? If omega is equal to pi by 2, then cos omega by 2 would be cos pi by 4, that is 0.707, it will further shrink. If we make omega equal to 120, that is 2 pi by 3, then what would be cos omega by 2? It will be cos 60, it will be half. So, as omega starts increasing from 0 to, and at what will happen? At omega equal to pi, cos pi by 2 is 0, so output will be 0. So, how do we say that? It is very simple. So, if omega is pi, what is that sequence? E raised to j pi n. E raised to j pi n is a sequence where at n equal to 0, where is the point? At n equal to 0, this is the point, x0. What is x1? E raised to j pi. What is that? x1. What is x2? E raised to j2 pi. So, x2. What is x3? It is x3. So, what does it mean? So, plus 1 minus 1, plus 1 minus 1, plus 1 minus 1. And in that case, if I average, what is y1? Y1 is simple, half x1 plus half x0. What is x1? This, that is minus 1. What is x0? Plus 1. So, y1 is 0. What is y2? Half x2 plus half x1. So, all y's will be 0. So, we can say that at omega equal to pi, the gain is 0. So, if we plot h omega versus omega. At omega equal to 0 it is 1, and at omega equal to pi it is 0, and similarly at minus pi. And what about angle? Angle is at pi it is pi by 2, it is linear, reverse linear. At omega equal to pi, phase shift is pi by 2. At omega equal to minus pi, phase shift minus pi by 2. At omega equal to minus pi, phase shift is pi by 2. So why is it called a low pass filter? Again remember what is low? Low is near 0. For 0 it is low. Up to pi, pi is maximum, highest frequency. 0 is lowest frequency, pi is highest frequency. As that is angular speed. That is the speed with which the point rotates. Remember, let it be very clear that we think in 2D. Low frequency or high frequency, these are the speeds of rotation of point on unit circle. So if input is rotating on unit circle at small frequency, then output would be a rotating point on a circle of radius very close to 1 with same angular frequency. But if omega increases, then the output would be no doubt a rotating point rotating with same angular frequency on a circle in anticlockwise direction, but it would be on a radius of smaller circle. That is the radius of the circle on which the output yn rotates will reduce as frequency is increased. This is called as low pass filter. This is called as low pass filter. Now I will give one more example of high pass filter. After going to a convent school, thinking in Marathi is complete defeat of the purpose of joining a convent school. Likewise, when we deal with signals and systems, discrete time or digital signal processing, or in general signal processing perspective, then thinking in one dimension is a crime. You must think in two dimensions where input and output both are what those are? Points in 2D plane which change their position with time. So what is signal? What is sequence? Sequence is discrete, signal is continuous. It is a position of the input or output in 2D plane or on a whiteboard which is changing with respect to time or which is changing with respect to sample. So what is now we take a next very simple discrete time system. What is Yn? Yn is equal to half xn plus half minus half xn minus 1. It is half xn minus half xn minus 1. So what is hn? What is hn? Hn is half minus half. It is half minus half. So what is h omega? H omega is very simple, no need to calculate, 1 minus e raised to minus j omega. 1 minus e raised to minus j omega. It was plus in previous case, it is minus in this case. So what it is? 1 minus cos omega, 1 minus cos omega minus j, I made a mistake, half is always there, half is always outside, and this is sin omega. So that is 1 minus cos omega plus j sin omega. 1 minus cos omega plus j sin omega. So what is mod h omega? See, this rationalization and all that, this trigonometric expertise, even though you are not expert, you can do it later on. because you are very much smart in 11, 12. So, that is not so important. What is important is interpretation. When we get h omega, that is important. So, what is mod h omega? So, h omega is equal to mod h omega is equal to half will remain outside into bracket square root of 1 minus cosine omega square plus sine omega square, 1 minus cosine omega square plus sine omega square. So, what do we get here? I hope that now there is no need to spend time in just doing some 11th, 12th trigonometry. So, what we get out of it, that is very important, is mod h. You can verify if you do not get it, we will discuss later on. Mod h omega is equal to sine omega by 2 and angle So, what we get here is extremely important. I think this angle no doubt is required, but you do not focus much on angle right now, you focus on the magnitude part. So, this I am not just saying that you ignore it, but means one will say no sir, why you are telling something, it is injustice, you are not completely scientific. What I say is, once you understand magnitude appropriately, then you may turn on angle. So, what the amplitude tells us? Amplitude tells us radius of this circle on which the point rotates. So, what will happen in this case? You will find, so right now I am keeping off the angle aside. So, what do we get here? Mod h omega is sine omega by 2. So, what it will indicate me? If omega is pi, what is sine pi by 2? 1. If omega is 0, what it is? Sine 0 is 0. So, it is exactly happening in reverse manner. In previous case, when we had a low pass filter, I again would like to appeal that come out of 1D, always think in 2D. So, what is low pass filter? In previous case, it was angle omega, that is angular speed, and it was mod h omega. It was mod h omega. That is, it was 1 at omega equal to 0 and becoming 0 on this side, So, what does it indicate? It indicates that the input, which is changing slowly, input is a rotating point, it is changing slowly, then output is also a rotating point changing at that speed on a radius which is very near to 1. Whereas, when input starts changing rapidly, that means just like if I teach very slowly, you will catch it, a substantial portion of it. If I start teaching rapidly, the retention, the understanding would be less. Same thing for a previous circuit, low pass filter, previous system low pass filter. input was rotating point on unit circle, output was rotating point on a circle very near to 1 with the same speed. As speed was increasing, speed of rotation was increasing, the output, the radius of the circle on which output is rotating gets shrinked, whereas in this case it is reverse, that is in this case it is sin omega. Right now we consider only minus, we right now do not consider, I am focusing on understanding part, that is this one. In fact, mod it is plus, so you need to write sin for omega by 2 also you should write this mod. So, as omega increases, mod h omega increases. So, for low frequencies, the circle, radius of the circle on which output lies is low, and as frequency increases it becomes 1 at frequency equal to, when it was means it becomes, when it was becoming 0, it is exactly complementary. So, here it is becomes 1 at angular frequency pi, the mod h omega becomes 1. This is called as high pass filter. Why? Because slow changes it forgets, whereas fast changes it absorbs. Suppose if now that I have to beat you, the beating hammer I have is same, the punch which I give is same, and you put your hand and I become very angry, I want to beat your hand for say 1000 times, then suppose if I beat your hand now, okay, then after 1 hour I give it, what will happen? What is the impact on the hand? Nothing will happen. But if I beat you with the same hammer, remember what I am doing? I am not increasing, my speed is fixed, that is the punch which I am giving is with the same, what we can say, force. But now if I give this punch 1 after 10 minutes, there will not be any impact on your hand, because the impact of previous punch is absorbed completely and nullified by you. But if I do it continuously, after 2 seconds a punch, then after some time, if we are in a meeting in Zoom, you will show your hand in the video that it has become reddish or brownish. So, this is what a low frequency, a low speed high pass filter means. If the impact is there, if and only if the speed is high, just like high pass, I have given an example. Now, we will take 2 more systems and then we will take an IIR system also, because this is something which is signal processing. This is something which is application of signals and systems. So, with this next one, that is what system I design is Yn is equal to, then you can also design various your own systems and compute what it would be. Yn is half xn minus or plus half xn minus 2. So, what is the Hn? Hn is equal to half, 0, half, and outside bracket obviously 0. So, this is n equal to 0. So, it is the average of current and previous to previous sample. The output is average of current and previous to previous sample. So, what is its DTFT? Its DTFT is half, this is 0, it will not be there, plus 0 plus half e raised to minus j 2 omega. Summation Hn e raised to minus j omega n equal to 0, this is 0, so no question, and n equal to 2, this half will be there, e to minus j 2 omega. So, what is Hn? So, what is h omega? So, h omega is half outside 1 plus e raised to minus j 2 omega. So, what it is? So, now we will only calculate magnitude, and for angle I will give you a interesting task. So, what is mod h omega? Mod h omega is half into square root of, or first we will not jump to square, we will not go to square root, we will expand it. So, it is half h omega is half 1 plus cos 2 omega minus j sin 2 omega. So, that is half mod h omega is half into bracket square root 1 plus cos 2 omega square plus sin 2 omega square. So, it is quite interesting, half into bracket 1 plus 2 cos 1 plus 2 cos 2 omega plus cos square 2 omega plus sin square 2 omega, cos square plus sin square is equal to 1. So, it is half into bracket 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2 cos 2 omega. So, this 2 and 2 comes outside. So, it is root 2 upon 2 1 plus cos 2 omega. I am calculating here because it is some very interesting inference way to draw. So, root 2 by 2 is 1 upon root 2, 1 upon root 2, 1 plus cos 2 omega, 1 plus cos 2 omega is what it comes out to be? 2 cos square omega. 1 plus cos 2 omega is 2 cos square omega. So, that 2 comes out. So, the answer is cos omega. Mod h omega is equal to cos omega. What does it mean? It's very interesting. Mod h omega is cos omega. And when it is mod, it is like this, you write, we will explain that later. So, omega is on this side, omega equal to pi, omega equal to 0, at 0 it is 1, from that at pi by 2 it becomes 0, and then it goes on this side, but when mod it is there, it comes on this side. I hope that you must have got this root 2 comes, this root 2 comes here. So, this root 2 and root 2 goes under root cos square omega, under root, otherwise you will say no, why did you take sir first cos omega and then put mod here? Mod is under root cos square omega, mod is under root cos square omega, under root cos square omega is not cos omega, under root cos omega is mod cos omega. I hope you understand it. Under root of cos square omega is cos omega, but under root, when we take in general, when we can say root of cos square omega is either plus sin omega or either plus cos omega or minus cos omega, remember. But when we are taking mod, when we are root cos square omega is either plus cos omega or minus cos omega. So, root can be either plus or minus. When we are taking it for mod, it is positive value of cos omega. So, if cos omega is positive, if for given omega, if cos omega is positive, root cos square omega is to be taken as cos omega. If cos omega comes negative, then root cos square omega is to be taken as minus cos omega, that is for mod. So, it is like this and then like this. So, what does it mean? What is this? That is the magnitude part of dtft of transfer function. So, that indicates that is the radius on which the output point yn will rotate. So, at lower frequencies what we find, it is high, but it is becoming low. At omega equal to pi by 2 it becomes 0, and after pi by 2 again it starts increasing. So, it is called as band reject filter. It is called as band reject filter. That is yn is equal to half xn plus half xn minus 2 is band reject filter. Similarly, you take, we are coming close to the end, you take exercise for yn is equal to half xn minus half xn minus 2. It is called as band pass filter. Now, if you repeat the same thing for this, what it would be? Then it is minus, it will be minus here. So, everything will become minus here plus here, and with the same logic this becomes minus, this becomes minus, this becomes minus, and you will be getting it as sine square and it is sine omega, mod sine omega. And it is mod sine omega in this case, what it would be? It is band pass filter. So, at initial values it will be less, it will maximize and again reduce. So, discrete, we conclude today's lecture by stating that discrete time Fourier transform of transfer function. We have a system means what? The weights which multiply the current and previous inputs. So, Hn is the weight with which the input received n samples ago is multiplied. So, when I find dtft of the transfer function, I get a function of h omega. What it tells us? That tells us that h omega tells me that if an input of rotating point at a frequency of omega is applied to the system, then output will also be a rotating point at angular speed omega, but at h omega its magnitude part tells me the radius on this of the circle on which the output is going to rotate and how that radius changes as a function of omega. So, we can discuss low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass, band reject filter, band pass filter. Now, this is for simple systems, that is why I say simple systems, because we took yn is equal to half something, half something. But if I take before coming for tomorrow's lecture, we will have some homework, that yn we have also discussed, yn is equal to summation of k equal to 0 to infinity half raised to n, half raised to k x of n minus k. So, what is Hn here? Hn is said to be half raised to n un. Why un? Because it is 0 before 0. So, this is an IIR system. The current output is weighted sum of current and all previous sample. This system I have to design by using recursion. Using recursion, we have also discussed that yn is equal to, for this yn is equal to xn plus half yn minus 1, that what we have discussed prior to mid sem. So, what is its h omega you have to calculate? So, you calculate h omega for this, I am sure that you will be able to calculate, and this also, from this h omega also you can understand what kind of the system it is. Filter in the sense offering some different working to the input in different manner depending upon angular speed. What is a filter? When input is a rotating point, for depending upon the angular speed of the rotating point, the system gives differential treatment to the input, and the treatment given by the system is a function of the angular speed. So, it is called as filter. Then there would be a very you will think, is it possible to design an all pass filter? What does it mean? An all pass filter means input is a rotating point on unit circle, output will also be a rotating point on unit circle, but the position of the output from the input will differ depending upon the angular speed. In all pass filter, magnitude is 1, angle is different, that is a function of omega. You can also think of that. I think it is very much exhaustive today. It is better to conclude. We will meet tomorrow.